Byron, I want your reaction. I know that you were talking to our team about our voter registration success at Arizona State University.
Listen, I just think it's really cool, and I think it's awesome. Young people in our country, they need to just hear other viewpoints. Charlie, your organization being out there at college campuses really does that. I know the one clip that went viral is when you and Vivek were out in Pennsylvania, and the one young lady came to the microphone. And Charlie, I know you were kind of the tough cop. Vivek was the good cop, but that's all right. But I think that kind of footage and that dialogue is what young people really need. The voter registration drive out at ASU, man, that's phenomenal. The response is phenomenal. And I think that it bodes well, not just for this election cycle, but really for the future of the country. Because we left these universities, we didn't really pay attention to them politically as Republicans and as conservatives. So now that you have this movement starting again to really help young people understand what's really at stake in these elections and that there are other choices in these elections, that's only going to help the country really thrive and succeed.
Yeah, and talk about, Byron, you guys flipped Florida from a battleground state to now a deep red state. We're trying to replicate some of that in Arizona. What were some of the ingredients that you guys did to now where Florida, thankfully, is solidly going to be in Trump's column?
Well, first it started with just voter registration drives. This was 10 years in the making. RPOF chairman at the time, Blaise Ngolia, who I served with when he was chairman, he and then Governor Rick Scott, they started the effort of doing voter registration drives nonstop. We were down around 600,000 voters compared to the Democrats about a decade ago. Now we have a 1 million voter registration advantage over the Democrats. So that's part of it. The second part is in the state capitol, really for the last 30 years, moving Florida from a blue state to a red state. It's been about economic freedom. It's been about academic freedom, school choice. It's been about crime, low taxes, and really consistently pushing that agenda every legislative session in Tallahassee. And that's how you saw Florida just shift really over about 20 years from a blue state to a purple state. And then in the last 10 years, moving to a red state.
Yeah, that's right. And it's been a lot of work over a period of time. And now Florida, it's nice, Byron. I know that in some ways you'd love to have the president do more events in Florida, but it's nice that we don't have to worry about it. And contrast that in 2020. Remember, Byron? We had a campaign in Iowa. We had a campaign in Ohio. Trump was doing rallies in Florida up until a week before the election. Byron, we don't have to worry about this time around.
Yeah, I agree. And then look, in Florida and those other states, Iowa, we're going to take care of business in those states. I mean, we're not leaving it behind, but, you do have the political operations that are very strong in those states from the Republican side of the aisle, and we're going to turn out voters like we do every single election. It does help you when you're in a resource battle. And look, I mean, I hate raising money. Most politicians hate raising money, but the reality is money is necessary to push your message. And so when you're able to focus your resources into key battleground states like Pennsylvania, like Wisconsin, like Arizona, Nevada as well, and many others, then you can marshal all your resources. Like I hear from people around the country, they'll say, well, I'm not seeing the ads or I'm not hearing this. And I say, that's because your state is red. We're focusing those resources. But I was in Wisconsin last week, and I'll tell you, I just turned on the Michigan USC game while I was changing into my suit for the dinner, and every ad was political. And so you could tell that we were focusing our resources into Wisconsin like we should be, and that's happening in all the battleground states.
Yeah, it's funny. I was recently in a red state, and they're like, I can't get any Trump signs, and I don't see any Trump ads. I said, guys, that's a good thing. It means the Trump campaign's focusing their resources where it really matters.